Every morning when Cassidy's grade 1 students enter Westmount School, they know their classroom is much bigger than the four walls they see. They also know that not only is their teacher interested in their work, but so are many others scattered around the world. These students don't think about technology as a privilege or something different. They use it in the same way they use pencils, papers, and other learning objects. Technology helps them share their ideas, ask questions, and learn together with the world. Let's hear from Kathy, the students, and a parent about how the use of weblogs, wikis, and podcasts have created a new story of teaching and learning.
I consider myself to be not a technological person. I don't hardly look at my email at home, and I never play games. I don't have an MSN account. I hardly do any technology at home. But when we got these computers in the classroom, I decided that I wanted to make them worthwhile for my students and have something educational on them. And so that started me looking at making a web page, and then that led to more things, and I got involved in grassroots, and that was that provided some funding for me to have some professional development. And then one thing led to another, and now blogging and wikis and things like that. My day is just like any other day in any other grade 1 classroom. It's just that we use technology for some things that other people would just use pencil and paper for. When we have literacy centers first thing in the morning, some of the kids are on the computers doing writing there, or playing games that reinforce skills that they're working on instead of doing other things in the classroom. And throughout the day, we do normal things, but sometimes instead of looking in a book for something, we look on the internet. Or we might do a project, and instead of making a good copy, we'll put it onto our blog and make a picture to illustrate it online instead of doing it on a piece of paper. They have a wider audience, and they have people commenting, and they feel differently about themselves as writers because they have a global audience with blogs, whereas if they write something in their books, I'm the only person who sees it. We get comments from parents, or they comment on each other's work, and the kids really like to get comments because it shows that somebody's listening to what they're saying and that someone took the time to comment back to them. We have a couple of classrooms that we are linked to, one in Manitoba and one in New Zealand, and my children during our center time are allowed to go to the other blogs of those other teachers, and they can go to any of the children. They sort of have an idea of which kids they've commented on before, and they'll read what they've written, and they might make another comment to those children. We've learned a lot about New Zealand from reading the blog of the teacher and reading the blog of the kids. These kids talk differently than us. It sounds funny when we hear them podcast. It sounds like they're not talking English to us. And when they have a mountain, a volcano near their school, and it sometimes spits ash. That's very exciting for my kids. And these are little things that they would have no idea of, and they would have no connection with anything to do with a volcano or with the ocean. That's another thing that has come up because they saw a dead shark on the beach, and my kids wondered, how could they see a shark? Here is a picture on this blog from New Zealand of the kids holding their noses because there's this dead smelly shark, and my landlocked children are saying, where did they get the shark? They have no idea about that sort of thing.
We can comment on other people's blogs across the world.
And the most I had is 225.
What is a wiki?
It's something that you can write stories on. And you can add on if you click on the edit at the top. They think of good ideas and stuff. Before they start writing, they think of stuff that they could write about, and they think about stuff that they could add on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Mrs. Cassisy's blog, I find myself actually, even during midday, logging onto her blog to see, if there's anything new and interesting going on in the classroom. I know my wife and I both find it a lot of fun to check every night, to have a look to see how my son is doing in her class. And he actually loves the opportunity to come and show us every night if there's something new on there. And lately with the podcasts that Mrs. Cass has been doing, I find it really interesting because not only do we get to see what he's written, but we get to hear some of the things that he has been learning about, and he enjoys showing us those and telling us about those things. Actually, it's amazing the progress that he's made this year with his writing. From the beginning of the year, it was from a grade 1 first time writing opportunity to now where it's actually fully understandable and using, you know, reasonable sentences and words that are spelled almost correctly. So the progress, I think, has been amazing with his writing, and the chance to see it every time he includes something on the blog is even more interesting. Once in a while we have a look at the places that other people are logging on to Mrs. Cassy's blog, like New Zealand and all the different places, and we end up actually using it as a learning opportunity because we show them on maps and stuff where these people live. So he thinks it's really cool how people around the world are looking at what he's doing, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
Technology is always frustrating. It never works like you want it to. And you might go along for a while and everything's working fine, and then you try something else, and then that's another frustrating thing. I think what keeps me going with technology is that it's so exciting for the kids, and it's so rewarding for them to go online and to see that their work is being viewed by a wide audience, and that their parents and their friends can comment on what they're doing and be a part of their education. It makes it so exciting for them. I didn't start with a full web page and with a blog and everything in place. You have to take little steps. And so you start with what you think will work for you, and you ask lots of questions, and then you advance it. When I first did the blog, I'd never put a picture on it. I never commented on other people's blogs. I just started writing my little thing to my parents and getting my kids online, and then once I felt comfortable with that, then I started adding pictures to the blog, and occasionally I even write blogs that have some thought to them besides just this is what we did today. It's a gradual process. Do a blog, especially through Blogmeister. It's all there. It's ready for teachers, and it's so easy to start. You just need somebody to show you how to get it set up, and you can fly.